Hi, this is Z, and I'm back again with another video. Today, I just wanted to read a little bit out of a book called Are There Black Devils? And this is by Dr. Malachi Z. York. Some of you might have heard of him and his story. I do believe that he was a chosen being and that he was persecuted like many of us are. I think he just reached a higher level where he was able to bring large amounts of people together and teach them. And he created, if you know a little bit about him, he created a kind of like a sanctuary. He had land where the people that were a part of his organization could join and live on the land and grow their own food. And he would teach them. And, they were trying to live in a spiritual way. I don't believe the stories of him having done something wrong. And the reason why is because so many of us are going through this. So many of us have gone through this. This is a thing that happens regularly. If people even think about the story of Jesus, it was the same thing with Jesus, where he was bringing people together, he was teaching them, and he was persecuted also. So this is something that happens over and over again. It's not something new. They will try to lie on you, which is what they do with a lot of chosen or generational curse breakers, whatever you like to call yourself. They lie on you and they will get other people around you to go along with it. Now, I don't know his story in detail. I do know that he was accused of, I believe, like molestation or something like that. And so they have locked him up, and I don't think they have the intention of letting him out, which is really something that's really strange in itself, because usually people that are molesters can get out of prison. So that right there is an indication that it might be something else, another reason why they are keeping him for so long. But anyhow, I don't really want to talk about the background because I don't know a lot and I don't want to say something that is not true. So I just wanted to read a little bit of how he is telling a part of our stories in this book. So this might have been part of the reason. He has many books. He's written many books, and you can still get copies of his book. I do. This is an original one. This is how it originally looked. But a lot of his books are kind of reprints, and so they look different now. I have bought some of the ones, some of his books that are reprints since he's been in prison. He was actually in prison when I bought this book, but these are the more original ones. The newer ones are like copies. They don't look like the original books, but it still has the same information in it. But I just want to read a little bit, and it says right here on page 8, they know that in any organization or establishment or even a family, they must get control of the finance, and from that position, they can work their iniquities. The worst kind of devils are those born in your bloodline or the children of your best friends. So a lot of us, and I don't know his story specifically, I don't know everything. But I do believe, I may be wrong, that there was someone or several people in his family that he was blood related to that may have gone against him. Now, I don't know if that's true or not exactly. I might be right, I might not be right. But I know that in my situation, this has happened to me, and I know that it's happening to many other people, that the people in your bloodline, in your family, people that are closest to you are the ones that are working against you. Okay, I'm going to continue on. You see in Genesis chapter 6, it speaks of Nephilim or giants being in the earth and disagreeable beings coming down and marrying the daughters of men. And he has Adam in parentheses. Genesis 6 verses 1 through 4. And as a result, mixed their evil blood or seed in with human beings. Genesis 6 and 5 tells you what happened of the mixing. It states, and the God saw that the wickedness of man, which was Adam's seed, was great in the earth. Here is the most important part where it continues to say, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So a lot of us that are going through this, whose family or people that are closest to us that are attacking us, you may find that these people only think evil thoughts. They are never thinking positive thoughts. They're always thinking to conjure up some type of scheme, lies, magic, something of evil directed towards you who, are chosen or the generational curse breakers. So you in your bloodline, you will have people that are of God and those that are not of God. And so they will always be targeting you. So this is not something that is new, obviously, because it's in the Bible. And it's not something that is unheard of. It's not something that is rare. It's happening often. It keeps happening over and over and over again until we learn how to weed out those that are the devilish ones in the bloodline or purify your bloodline. So it says, it may be hard for you to believe that you can give birth to a child who has received the craftiness of the devil. However, Genesis 3 verse 15 clearly states, and I will put enmity, and the Hebrew word for enmity there is abal and means hatred. But listen to what it says, between thee, meaning the serpent, devil, and the woman, meaning Eve. However, here is the most important part of it. And between thy seed, the Hebrew word for seed is zerah, meaning child, carnally, offspring, and fruitful. So the devil is going to have children, and his children are going to hate Eve's children. For the quote continues to say, and her seed, meaning Eve's seed. The devil is so crafty and shrewd that his tactic was to move in, marry in, and mix their blood into your blood so that you will be loving the devil first as your wife or husband, then as your sons and daughters and your best friends and their families. It's all the works of evil. If you are a man of power or a woman of power, then these devils cling up close to you, because that is exactly what the word cherub means. It's from the Hebrew word cherub, meaning to be near or to be close. As Azazel, I don't know if I said his name right, the fallen angel was close to God in heaven, and even in Job 1 verse 7 and Job 2 verse 2, where it states, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. You see where he converses with God. Even in the case of the Lord Jesus Christ, a devil, Judas, drew close to him. According to John 6 verse 70 through 71, and I quote, Jesus answered them, have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? 71, he spake of Judas, I don't know how you say his name, Iscariot, the son of Simon. Forgive me, because I'm not Christian and I have never read the Bible. For he it was that should betray him. being one of the 12. So even though I'm not Christian, I do know like a little bit of the Bible, a little bit. I do plan on getting deeper because I know this information is in the Bible. But he's explaining how they draw up close. These people that are devils, they come in with the intention to trick you, to deceive you, to take advantage of you, to whatever, people are going after you for, to steal from you, to basically to ruin you. And then you had the story of Jesus. You had Judas, where he was close and he betrayed Jesus for some money, I believe. So a lot of us have these devilish people in our families that get close to us. They target us. They want to get close to us. They want to be around us. And a lot of them will get money for doing so. They are willing to get money in order to take you out because they are of evil. And I'm going to go back up here before the part that I started reading from. And it says right here, their focus is on wealth, money, and power. So these people in our families, they're not like us. They're not about love and care and respect and taking care of one of each other, one another, and making sure that everybody is doing well. They're not like that. They're always in competition with you, wanting to be or appear better than you. They want to have more money than you. They want to have power and control. They want to play your God in your life. So they get close to you, but what they don't realize is in that that drive of wanting to play God for you, they become obsessed and they cannot leave you alone. They're going to do it until they ruin their own lives, ruin themselves completely. And this is a form of, when people say you sold your soul, this is a form of selling your soul. You would take out family members or people close to you for some money, or to be able to play God in their life. So it says down here, I have discovered in my own life that when I had vowed to devote my life to God, who at the time I called Allah, being born a Muslim, before being saved and finding the Lord Jesus Christ and making him my personal savior, that I was called of God to raise the 144,000 gowned in white robes before the year 2000 AD. So a lot of us are a part of those chosen people, and you're chosen to help raise people up, to help them to be able to recognize when they come up against these devilish people, and to separate from them, and to help those that want to be helped with casting out demons and things of that nature. Because there are some people that do want to be helped. They do want to, get close to God and go in the right direction. They might just need a little bit of help. But then you have some that devilish behavior is so ingrained in them that you really cannot help them. The best thing to do is to walk away from those people. So these people, we really have to start recognizing that these people are in our bloodline. I spent a lot of time wondering why the things that were happening to me, why my family had turned against me. And I do remember someone in my family saying that the main person that targeted me, they was wondering from when they were a child if something was wrong with them because of the things they did, but they did not think, I guess they didn't think too deep of it, and thought maybe they would grow out of those devilish ways, but that person didn't grow out of it. It only became worse and worse, especially when they experience something painful or somebody hurt their feelings. They did not want to heal, or they did not want to take accountability when they did something wrong. They only sought for someone else to validate, what they were feeling. They never ever took a look at themselves. So someone did recognize that the main person that targets me and my family may have been off, I'll say that way. But I'm sure that people didn't think this deep about it, because this was never something that we really, we never really knew about things like this. Like I said, we did not grow up Christian. We were Muslim. I'll say part of a very small part of my childhood was I'm Muslim. I actually got more into Islam as I got older. And then I did set aside religion altogether. I do, I do believe that the Quran is, has valuable information, just like the Bible does. And I do respect those books, but I don't feel like I have to be a part of a religion to get close to God. I don't think anybody does. And there's nothing wrong with if people want to be a religion. I'm fine with that, but I just don't choose that for myself, at least not at this point in time. But we did use the term believer and non-believer. And Malachi Z. York in this book uses, and in his other books, he uses disagreeable and agreeable. So a lot of it is just how people would say angelic or devilish or good and evil, those terms like that, they're opposites. So a lot of us, we have people that are born because of a mixing that took place. God's people were chosen and they mixed in with beings that they were not supposed to mix in. And as a result, we have these people in our bloodline, and we also have the potential to lower our vibration, even if we are not of the disagreeable or the devilish bloodline. We still have the potential to become like that because we've mixed in, and we see a lot of us get drawn in and pulled in by the tricks of the devil, and we want to be like that devilish behavior because we are driven to want money, power, success, and things like that. We decide to, instead of relying on God, we want it right now. We want it fast. We're willing to do anything. And a lot of us, so to speak, lose our souls. We become very low vibrational. We become very low, low in vibration, some of us, to the point where we cannot correct ourselves or no one can correct us. So we really do have to be careful and do the best we can with raising our children and trying to get them to understand that there are some people out here that no matter how loving and caring you are for them, they will just naturally have a hate and a disdain for you, where they're going to come after you over and over and over again. And some of these people, once they start going through their karma, they're going to come back around. They're going to be I'm like you now. But you have to be very discerning. You have to go to the Most High God. You have to get clarification. If anyone has turned against you in the past, I suggest you just not accept them back, because 99.999% of the time, they're not going to correct themselves. They're just going to come back and pretend, because they want to get back in good graces. They want to use you again. They want to finish what they didn't start. They want to take from you. They want to put you in a position to where you're beneath them, so they can go back and tell everybody, see, I told you she was this way. They have all these plans they're making now in their head, because they know they're getting ready to go through karma. So we have to be prepared. We have to be on our prayers. We have to make sure that we have our armor on and we have our defenses up, because these people are going to come back around, because they're going to be in very bad places because of the things that they've done. But I just want to leave you with that message. I have to go. I keep getting this notification on my phone, but I do have to leave. But I hope this message helps someone, and I am going to read out of this book again at another time. All right, bye.